Welcome to Gcse History presentation. We've got a quotation here from Nikita Khrushchev. Historians are dangerous people, they are capable of upsetting everything. And what's meant by that is that clearly politicians try to establish a narrative of events and historians can ultimately challenge that, and that's what makes history such an exciting subject to study at GCSE. What skills will students gain from studying history? There are a number of things. Obviously, in lessons we will be debating and discussing issues. They will be writing extended pieces of work. They'll be developing their knowledge of 20th century, and that will link with citizenship and politics, the ability to know why we're at the place we are politically, economically and socially. They will learn the skills of evaluating sources and evidence critically, a really important skill in this era of so-called fake news. They will also have the opportunity to undertake independent research and understand how the past can be interpreted in different ways. Now, the content is international relations 1918 to 1975, so from effectively the Treaty of Versailles at the end of the First World War through to the sort of middle part of the Cold War, end of the Vietnam War, that sort of period. They then study Germany from 1925 to 55 as Germany moves from a democracy in the 20s to the dictatorship of Adolf Hitler, and then at the end of the Second World War, Germany splits into two, with obviously a communist dictatorship in the east and a Western democracy in West Germany. We then study power, monarchy and democracy in Britain 1000 to 2014, very wide-ranging period from the Anglo-Saxon kings right through to the coalition government of 2010. And what this course is looking at is how power changes, which groups challenge power, where changes to power occur and where there's any sort of key turning points. We then look at the English Reformation, a short 30-year period where there's a huge change in the way that England is governed in terms of the church and its relationship with the state. And then finally we look at castles 1000 to 1750, the main focus currently being Kenilworth Castle as a local example of how castles changed over that period and in what way. History provides students with a wide range of skills which are highly valued by employers. For example, evaluating information is something that's used in a lot of careers such as law, business, personnel management. A lot of people have history degrees, people as diverse as former Prime Minister Gordon Brown to Chris Martin from Coldplay. History is practical. It involves learning about people. It's learning about countries, societies and cultures. You have to organise facts and you have to present complex material in a simple way. Learning about people and motivation is really useful for a whole range of jobs. History, really useful. This cartoon is at the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis and shows the battle between Nikita Khrushchev and John F. Kennedy. Paper 1 then, a summary of paper 1 there, study things like the Vietnam War, the formation of NATO, Treaty of Versailles. Also on paper 1, Germany, there's Adolf Hitler, went from Chancellor to Führer in a year, and people in the Hitler Youth, and then the big three meeting at Yalta, wondering whether they're starting a Cold War. How did the wartime allies, the Soviet Union and America, end up in conflict? On paper 2, Power, Monarchy and Democracy, we cover things like the Magna Carta, Margaret Thatcher and Tony Blair, Oliver Cromwell, a whole wide range of topics. And then the English Reformation, a little bit more ideas there around Henry VIII and his changes to the church, the dissolution of the monasteries and so on. And finally, on paper 3, we look at Kenilworth Castle. Why choose history? History is really the story of everything. It leads to careers, it's got excellent cross-curricular links with other subjects, particularly things like English and later on sociology, economics, things like that. It's a really useful subject and it is most enjoyable to do at GCSE, and students will gain a great deal from it. Thank you.